Hey everybody, Matt Doyon coming to you from Boston on the heels of launching Sales Coaching Uncut. Now, this is a podcast series that we just launched for sales coaches, by sales coaches. Sales coaching, ironically, as important as it is and as critical as it is, it's one of the least prepared for, least trained, least coached, least managed roles in all of the professional world. And we're aiming to do our little piece of work to hopefully turn that around and start sharing and cross pollinating some best practices on the podcast. So stay tuned for those episodes that should drop once a week. Some initial learnings that just came from the first episode that we launched earlier this week. Great series with Brandon Kirsch, great conversation rather with Brandon Kirsch from HubSpot. Check it out. But there are a few things that more experienced managers will learn relatively quickly that they messed up in the early days. I certainly made a lot of these mistakes myself. Talked about it with Brandon on the podcast, but a couple of them to share in terms of the highlight reel. One is expectation setting. So this is something I see all the time when I'm coaching and I'm working with leadership teams. Junior sales leaders will just launch right into coaching without laying the groundwork to set expectations with the team on why are they spending that time coaching, what are the expectations, how should they get the conversation going every week, what should they have prepared, what do they want to get out of it, how should it flow, what's the process they're going to follow. So the why behind the coaching is critical, and most junior managers just don't do that. And they pay a price for that because the coaching conversations can get off the rails pretty quickly and the value be drained from that really valuable time. So that's number one. Number two, and this is something that over and over again I see managers fail at, is they give the answer versus asking the question. And because of that, they feel like they need to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers if you're a great sales coach. You shouldn't, and you shouldn't set that expectation. The right thing to do is bring the kind of questions that you could use to guide the rep to finding the answer for themselves, even and especially when you don't know the answer. So you're working through the learning process with your reps and you're guiding them and helping them and really using more of a Socratic method when you're coaching to collaborate with them and not give them fish, but essentially teach them how to fish. Uh, and number three, and there's a whole host of other things, but number three for this part today, in terms of junior managers versus senior managers, it really comes down to having a documented process in place. So, junior managers are very analog. A lot of it is just, hey, bro, what do you want to coach? What do you want to talk about? This is your time. What should we go through? And they're really not gluing those conversations together at all and really not using one piece of data with another to measure the impact of their coaching and really understand how they're working with it, their reps. Senior managers are going to do that. They're going to make sure that they're getting true value out of their time. They're not just burning calories and burning hours that are really valuable in their week and their reps week. They're going to make sure they're making progress toward a specific outcome. And usually those outcomes for most senior managers has to do, and most senior coaches, is really focused on nailing one skill, one item, one element at a time, and making progress on a very specific, controllable, measured outcome. And that's not, here we go. Uh, and when you focus on that and when you can really specify and build that accountability over one thing, it brings the reps in, it engages, it's far more controllable, and you could feel a lot better, and your teammates will feel a lot better that you're making progress toward a really specific outcome together. And you could really start to nail down and actualize the work that you're doing in that coaching versus a spray and pray methodology of, hey, let's work on a bunch of stuff, not measure anything, and just get back together once a week to feel good about working together. Senior managers don't do that. They don't have time for it. They don't have patience, and they know that their time is so valuable. They need to do stuff that is moving the needle on getting revenue to come in, and that means moving the needle on getting their reps to perform better. So, expectation setting, being really clear about what the why is behind coaching, making sure that you have a game plan in terms of where you're coaching and asking with questions, leading with questions versus answers, and wrapping things up with distinct measurement, specifics, zeroing in on a specific skill or an action item that will build accountability and really build the measurement around the progress that needs to be made. Those are just some initial learnings. More to come with future episodes of Sales Coaching Uncut. Until next time.